God save you.
You must be that lucky fellow everyone's talking about.
Lady Luck has been good to me lately, sure enough. But that can change quicker than you know.
People say that you get help from a lucky charm.
Is that not allowed?
No, it is. It just interests me, that's all.
Why?
I could use a paw like that myself.
Then go to the knacker. I'm sure he'll get you one.
Hand over that cat paw,
Or what?
or I'm gonna start breaking some limbs, and they won't belong to a cat.
Jesus, you're insane? Take it for God's sake. Just don't hurt me.
Good lad.
Good luck then.
God grant you health. How may I help you?
Doesn't look good.
What? What are you talking about?
Your tooth. I bet it hurts a lot, doesn't it?
How do you know about that?
I overheard you in the tavern yesterday. If I were you, I'd let the blacksmith pull it.
Why?
I knew a man once who was in the same situation as you. His tooth was sore, and he was frightened to have it pulled.
And what happened to him?
In the end, half his jaw almost fell out. So I wouldn't underestimate it.
But I can't go to the blacksmith.
Don't tell me you're afraid.
I am afraid. I don't mind admitting it.
You know what? I'll go with you and make sure you get out of there alive. You don't have to be embarrassed. Every man in the world's afraid of having his teeth pulled.
I know, but even so...
Let's go then, and get this over with.
Jesus, it's going to be really painful, isn't it?
Don't worry. It will hurt a little, but then you'll feel relieved. You'll see.
If you say so.
Looking for a job?
Back trouble? I don't know. Isn't it a waste of time? Maybe it'll go away on its own.
Are you mad? It won't go away, it'll just get worse. The sooner we get it out, the better.
Yes, you're right. Look, I can't. It's embarrassing. I'm a coward and I won't be able to handle it.
We're almost there. Just be a man about it.
You're right. Let's go.
All right, let's do it. Hold him tight.
Let's do it.
Ah, look.
Jesus
It's
Christ,
out.
The agony.
Hey, want to keep it as
What
a
did I
memento?
do to
I'll have it.
deserve this?
Oh, all right.
The sunset sounds across the sky.
Let's go to the blacksmith. Maybe we'll make it there this time.
Fine, let's go.
Yeah.
Garlic, onions, mushrooms and asparagus. Come right up, no need to be shy.
God be with you.
I went to look for those items you wanted.
Splendid, splendid. So show me what you've got, lad.
The tooth of layman Procopius, which definitely isn't holy.
It isn't. But then again, one day it could be. You never know what course a man's life might take.
I suppose not. But it wasn't easy to get, so if anyone's the miracle worker here, it's me.
Calm now, don't exaggerate.
One cat paw for luck.
Marvelous. Let's just hope it brings us luck as well.
A branch from a blessed topping out.
Excellent. And how did you get it down?
I had to shoot it down.
Watch out for this man. He's a regular William Tell.
Well, there wasn't any other way.
So, we've got all that sorted out. And now, to the next matter.
Go on. I'm shaking with anticipation.
There's one more thing. It's rather complicated and, delicate.
What thing?
A shroud.
A shroud?
Yes. A burial shroud of someone who passed away not too long ago.
I'm just supposed to take a dead person's clothes.
Christ, no. I need a burial shroud. The precious enveloping garment in which the deceased is buried.
And does it matter who I take it from?
It needs to be someone who lived an honest life. And I have just the fellow. A good man by the name of Lokota who recently passed on.
Right. So where can I find him?
His family is waiting for the funeral. For now, he's lying in a small church in Sassa.
And who was this Lokota?
I know only a little, but according to the locals, he was an honorable man. You should certainly try to ask around. Goodbye.
We have it all. Come and say it.
God save you, good knight. What can I do for you?
My condolences.
Thank you.
The Lord be with you.
God be with you.
My condolences.
Thank you.
I've come to pay my last respects to a dear relative.
Have you? I've never seen you before.
I believe I'm your cousin. Unlike yours, my father never left Vlashim. He must have told you where our family comes from.
You never talked about him much. They didn't see eye to eye.
You're right. Bad blood. For a long time, I didn't know my father had a brother.
So then you know my father also married a woman from Vlashim.
Ugh. Oh, I could tell you some tales about Ludmilla.
I knew it! You lying wretch! Don't let me see you here again. Goodbye. Way off!
Topsy-giddy! Bollocks!
Is there something you need?
Favor more than thyself. So the scriptures teach us.
Seasoning. Just roast it.
I have the...
Lord Almighty, be quiet! Not here! You don't want everyone to see it, do you? Wait for me at my place. Take care.
hard to resist. You're not my better interest.
And if we were not holy at all, we even have two popes. What is it about we were to make of it? One pope in Rome, and another in Avignon. How many more holy fathers will we have? Love thy neighbor more than thyself. So the scriptures teach us. Us and the church dignitaries, but they heed the words of those bloated bellies. They fleece you of your last groschen. They will have you pay their subscription, and while you live from hand to mouth, they stuff themselves with sweetmeat and indulge in carnal pleasure.
I have the shroud for you.
Have you now? Good work.
Yes, well, it wasn't easy.
I'm sure. That's also why. Good luck then.
That's where he lives. Let's teach him a lesson.
He's
Oh,
inside! I saw him go
Fuck!
in!
Henry! Delay them! What? How? There's a reward for you in the trunk. I'll see you in Ledechko.
Come on!
Break it down.
Do it!
What are you doing here?
Be ashamed to treat decent people this way and so near a monastery.
He swindled me, too. I came here to throw his potions in his face, but it looks like he hasn't been home for a while. He probably ran away before his trickery could catch up with him.
Bastard. Either way, he'd better not show his face in this town again. Let's go.
Everything here is fine? And who are you?
Brother Elias.
What will happen to my family?
What do you do here?
What I can. I'm just trying to help the Skalitz locals as much as I can.
How long have you been helping here?
Since before the refugees arrived. It was much less crowded back
What will
then.
happen to my family?
And what do you do here exactly?
Mainly, I help Brother Nicodemus. Occasionally, I keep watch at night in case someone takes a turn for the worse. Sometimes I have to hold a patient down, or fetch and carry things.
Do you know anything about healing?
A little. I can manage the basics, but without Brother Nicodemus, I'd never be able to deal with the more difficult cases.
I can't.
Thank you.
I just can't.
Take care now.
Johanka?
I can't stay here.
Henry?
I'm glad to see you.
Me too. I heard that you're doing well.
Well, that depends.
You're alive,
Quiet.
so you're doing well.
You wouldn't happen to know what Fritz and Matthew did here, would you?
Don't even talk to me about that. They weren't badly injured compared to most of the others here, and after lying in bed for a while, they got bored. So they started drinking. I'm trying to help people in dire need, and the two of them are drinking with that cretin Elias.
They always have been thoughtless, but at least they were punished for it. Who is this Elias, anyway?
One of the ordinal monks who helps out here. He was the one who brought the booze. All three of them got friendly pretty fast. You know what they say about birds of a feather.
What kind of person is this Elias?
A timid kind of fellow.
And why is he being so hard on Fritz and Matthew? They're drowning in debt because of him, and it seems all they had was a small fight.
I don't know. He was the one who wanted to befriend them in the first place. I don't believe it's because of any property damage they did. It's got more to do with wounded pride.
And do you know what got between them?
I don't have a clue. One minute they're the best friends in the world, and then a lot of yelling and furniture flying around. They threw Fritz and Matthew out straight afterwards.
Thank you. That's all I need. What's happening here? Oh my God. Philip and... they're all...
Yes. Where do you think the wounded ended up?
Actually, I had no idea.
Well, now you know. Me and Nicodemus have been trying to keep things under control since Skalitz was raised. Just the two of us.
So can I help at all?
Certainly. We can always use an extra pair of hands here. And it's been like that since the beginning.
I was in a bad way myself back then. They took me to Ratai unconscious, and I needed a healer. How is everyone holding up? What can I do?
Holding up? People here are dying, usually needlessly, and I can't do anything about it. We don't have enough food or space or anyone who's willing to help us.
Doesn't anyone help you with nursing these people? You've got scholars all around you.
Scholars, maybe, but they leave the healing up to God. Nicodemus is trying, but everything he knows is from his books.
Brother Nicodemus? Who's he?
He takes care of the injured. He knows something about herbs and a little about setting broken bones.
And is he good at it?
He tries, but he doesn't have much experience.
Doesn't the monastery care for them?
They give us some food for them and a place to sleep, but I wouldn't say they help exactly. More like they just tolerate us.
Do you have enough food?
Enough to survive, maybe, but convalescents need feeding up.
Maybe if I brought some meat, some game, that would strengthen them up.
That would be a great help.
Anything else you need?
Look around.
Well, it is a little crowded.
Crowded? I've had to leave some of the sick lying in the open air, even at night. And have you seen what they're lying on?
I'll try to negotiate better conditions with the monastery.
I tried that, out loud. They just nod their heads, but don't move a muscle.
Very well. And how are you doing? You're the only woman here, alone in the monastery.
Some of the monks speak to me, but other people act like I don't exist. Too bad the custodian isn't one of those.
Is the custodian causing you problems?
All the time. Apparently he has a wife somewhere, but that doesn't stop him. He's constantly strutting around in front of me.
And, what else?
What do you mean, what else? He's invited me to his home.
I could do something about it, if you liked.
No, I can deal with him. The last thing I need is you going around threatening people. It won't help me, and it definitely won't help the refugees.
Why is there a guard outside?
He's here because of me.
Because of you?
Yes. There was one time I just had enough of it all, of the way they treat us, and I almost slapped one of... But that doesn't matter.
What can you tell me about the custodian?
He's supposed to be in charge of all the guards and the security of the monastery. But really, he has a say in pretty much everything, including supplies. And that's why he probably thinks he can do whatever he wants.
All right, that's all I need to know.
Look, Henry, I know I can speak harshly, but I'm at the end of my tether. Last week, Bohuslav died. Maybe you knew him. And nobody even blinked an eye. We desperately need help.
I'll do whatever's in my power. Tell me more about the situation here. All right, that's all I need to know.
I won't get any sleep. I just won't get any sleep.
I'm not needed here.
God. Yeah. Shit. What's going on?
You're not from Skalitz?
No, but please help me. I can't stay here.
What happened to you?
I was working on the building when the scaffolding up by the roof collapsed underneath me.
Well, and you're very lucky you survived at all.
Yes, that's what everyone tells me. But it's no use being alive if all I can do is lie here like a wet sack of barley.
Well, you're pretty battered, but I don't see anything that a few weeks' rest can't fix.
Weeks? My God, I have to get back to work sooner than that.
What's the problem? Why can't you stay until you heal?
I have a family. I'm poor. It's only thanks to the building work that we can survive.
I just can't.
And the master told me if I don't come back in a few days, then I shouldn't come back at all. And where can me and my wife go then? Who'll take us in? We'll end up living in the woods, where any bandit or ruffian can set on us.
Is there anything I can do to help? It looks like they took care of your wounds.
When I was little, my father got trampled on by a horse, and an old hag from the village gave him some kind of purple herbs for it. And he got better very quickly.
And do you remember what the herbs were?
I don't. But there's supposed to be the whole cursed knowledge of the world in this place. Something has to be written about it. A herbarium. Anything.
I'll try to find something.
Thank you. Thank you.
Farewell.
What the...
You look all right?
Mostly, but my leg still hurts.
Did the Cumans wound you?
That's what I tell the ladies. Truth is, I did myself a mischief while I was running away.
And do they rebandage it for you?
Occasionally. They told me they don't have enough bandages.
Well, that's no use. Those bandages need changing. I've got bandages, so I can take care of it.
Wonderful. Could you tell Brother Nicodemus?
I can do it myself.
I thought you were a blacksmith.
A long time ago. But unfortunately, I've had to learn a thing or two about the art of medicine since then.
Well, fine then.
God be.
Where? What's happening?
How are you feeling?
Good. It feels clean. Hope it helps.
It will. Tell them to rebandage you daily. You have the bandages here.
Thank you very much, Henry.
Don't mention it.
God be with you.
He'll be able to get out of this on his own. These wounds have been well taken care of. Everything here is fine. He's not reacting. But all I can see that's wrong with him is his leg.
Quiet!
I have to ask Johanka. Philip, from Skalitz. I don't see any wounds, but he's shaking terribly. Everything here is fine. I'm not needed here.
Henry, how are you?
What's wrong with that man by the altar? He doesn't look wounded, but he's really pale and doesn't react at all.
He had a broken leg. A bad one. The bone had come right through the skin. We tried to straighten it, but I don't know if we did it right. I'm not holding out much hope for him. I've seen folk in that state before, and it didn't end well.
My God, there has to be something we can do.
And what do you suggest? The monks won't help, and I don't know anyone else who can.
Well, I can try. I'll straighten his leg.
You?
I'll give it a go. It's not like I can make it any worse.
So you don't know anything. Don't even think about touching that poor man.
What about the executioner from Ratai? He usually breaks bones, but he might know something about mending them too.
The executioner? Even if you could persuade him to come, they'll never let him in here.
Well, maybe it would be enough if he advised me and then I tried...
Look, do whatever you want. I have to go and take care of the others.
One of the sick men, Semek, is complaining about pain and the fact he can't work. He says he...
Semek? Is he one of our people?
No, he's a construction worker. He's bruised and confined to...
Henry, for God's sake, our neighbors are dying here. Your friends. There isn't time to waste on some construction worker's bruises. Oh, honestly, what were you thinking?
Listen, all I need to find out is the name of a herb.
Then go and look it up in a book. You've got your own herbarium, haven't you?
What happened to Philip?
Poor man. There was nothing wrong with him, and now he's getting worse every day.
But do you know why?
Maybe. He didn't run away from Skalitz, you see. He hid for days, among the corpses. If he got poisoned...
But what can we do?
Us? Nothing. Only Father Simon might have been able to save him. He knew a lot about poisons.
And where is he?
You know he left Skalitz years ago.
And does anyone know where he ended up?
If you believe the stories about a wild man in the woods, then Rovnar is the place to go.
You're the one who's in charge of the wounded.
Yes, I'm the infirmarius here. Time was I only had a few elderly monks who couldn't walk to take care of. Now I have this mess to deal with.
Monks so old they can't hold themselves up with their own legs.
Oh, if that were the only bodily function they could control. But I shouldn't talk like that. It's a blessing to live to such an age.
How are the wounded from Skalitz?
Some of them are well taken care of. But others are dying here needlessly. It's a good thing we have Johanka here. I'd never be able to manage on my own.
So you don't normally treat the wounded then?
Well, there were accidents, of course. A broken leg, someone who'd been kicked by a cow or bitten by a goat. But this, I've never dealt with the carnage of battle before.
If only it had been a battle. This was cold-blooded slaughter.
You were there? God be merciful to you and the dead and the wounded.
What do you think about the custodian?
Baron von Berg? Well, he does his job well. He keeps us safe here. And the last time I saw him was when I was rubbing ointment on his rash.
I heard he's been here a lot lately.
Well, that's true. He comes to visit Johanka. But he's never here long, and he always leaves unsatisfied.
How can I help you?
Have you talked to Johanka?
I did.
Well, if you know something about it, then go and take a look. However, you don't look like you've studied the Hippocratic arts.
That's true. I'm the son of a blacksmith, but I have been around the wounded before. What do I do if I'm not sure of the treatment?
Come and speak to me. We'll see what we can do.
Thank you. Why are they so badly provided for? People are crammed in next to each other, and some have to sleep outside. That can't be good for them. It gets freezing here at night.
I can't afford anything more for them.
How is that possible? You're the infirmarius. You decide how all the money gets spent.
But I have no say in how much money I'm given. And because the abbot's away, it's still the same amount I had when I was taking care of a few old men.
Can't you do anything? Won't the others help?
Unfortunately not. The brothers in the cloister aren't much interested in the external world, and the custodian has enough on his plate with the chaos in the region. Besides, his main concern is the smooth running of the monastery.
And the local custodian? His crew has enough provisions.
I tried him, but it seems he had some disagreement with Johanka, and now he won't give us anything.
I'll try to talk to him.
I just can't.
Can't believe your conscience lets you leave the Skalitz locals in such a state.
I know. I'm shamed. But my brothers believe it's all in God's hands now.
Even so, conditions here seem to me quite unchristian.
You're not the only one.
Do you know anything about herbs?
I'm not an expert, but I know a little something. Is it urgent?
Well, one of the workers who was injured during construction would like to get back to work. He mentioned some purple flowers that would...
Herbs.
Oh, purple herbs that should help.
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but you can have a look in the herbarium here. There won't be too many purple herbs for bruises and sprains.
let's talk about... Since it's...
Well now.
Quiet!
Yeah, shit. What's going on?
Hopefully I have what you need.
Thank you. With any luck, I'll soon be feeling better. If you find the time, stop by to see me in a few days. Good luck to you.
I can't sleep again.
What the?
My respects to you.
Whose house is this?
It's our local custodians. The most esteemed Sir Sebastian, Baron von Berg.
You don't seem to think very much of him.
But of course I do. A man with a nose so stuck up that it acts as a rain funnel can't be all bad.
What does the custodian do anyway?
Well, he's meant to look after the local community and keep the peace.
But
in fact, he seems more interested in robbing everyone blind.
I'm much obliged.
Don't mention it.
You look bored.
Beyond tears.
How can you be bored here in Sasau, in such a holy place, filled with knowledge?
Don't even talk to me about it. They won't let you touch the books. They don't want to talk to you. And when I wanted to look at the remains of St. Procopius, at least, they ran me off. Me! Like some kind of thief. What good is the whole blasted monastery if I can't even do that?
Well, they say there's not much left of poor Procopius.
What's that got to do with anything?
I'm not blaming you. It's just that only monks have access to the reliquary in the crypt. Folk were even taking relics away from St. Procopius' cave for protection before. Now no one's allowed in there.
I know, but I'd never dream of doing that. I just wanted to touch them for luck.
Maybe I could help you.
How? You're not planning some mischief, are you?
No, not at all. I was going to bring you something from the cave under the monastery where he spent his time. You can get in there, you could touch it for luck, and then I'd return it.
Oh, now. You'd do that for me?
Of course.
Then I'd be very grateful to you.
I've got a bowl for you from the cave of St. Procopius.
A bowl? I was expecting something a little different.
Behold.
Ah. Is it really from St. Procopius?
Yes. From his cave. A truly astonishing place. This surely has miraculous powers.
You're right. My God, you're right. Such holiness. I'm in your debt, Henry. How can I repay you?
Thanks, but I don't want anything. I was glad to help.
Truly? Well, thank you.
My pleasure.
And Henry,
Yes?
I just wanted to touch it for luck. If you took something you shouldn't have, I expect you'll put it back. See you later. Goodbye.
Jesus Christ be praised.
I'm helping at the infirmary now, and I came to...
Ah, and how is Johanka? Do you know her well?
Yes, I do.
Good, good. Does she ever talk about me?
Sometimes. A little.
That's good. Excellent. Johanka means a lot to me.
I'm mainly here for supplies and to talk about the state of the wounded from Skalitz. They need blankets, food...
Well, that's not my problem. Let the infirmarius take care of it.
His hands are tied. Until the abbot comes back, he can't get anything.
And why should that interest me?
Maybe because of Johanka.
What precisely are you getting at?
She has a kind heart. Everyone can see how deeply she cares about the wounded. If you help her selflessly, it'll win her over. She's bound to be impressed.
Maybe you're right. It will cost me something, but I'll discuss it with Nicodemus. I should be able to help in some way. God be with you.
Mother of God! Is there something you need?
good health to you.
I see there's not much going on around here. So you've stayed here on your own?
Right so, all by myself. All the others were either killed by the Cumans or fled to Rattay.
I'm sorry to hear that. And what's keeping you here, alone?
My older brother ran away with the wandering players, so when our father was on his deathbed, he made me swear I'd never leave our home.
I can see you took your vow seriously.
I did. And it's starting to get dangerous around here. Again.
The Cumans?
If it were Cumans, I'd grab an axe and that would be that. But a week back, some rabble made their way through here. They begged me for food, and mark my words, they weren't taking no for an answer. If they'd been just a tad hungrier, I swear they would have stormed the cottage.
There are gangs like that around, true enough. I saw the mess they left behind. Savages.
It was horrible. People tried to find shelter in the church, but them dogs was waiting. They knew too well that's where folk would try to hide.
And where did you hide?
By the grace of God, I got my family away into the woods.
And I don't see your family with you. I hope those bastards didn't sniff them out.
No, it takes better man than them to track me down. I sent my wife to Rattay with some others.
Do you think folk will ever go back to their homes?
I don't know about Skalitz, but the folk here are sure to want to come back. The only thing they're missing is spiritual support.
Do you mean the priest?
Indeed. When the land's at war, noblemen fight to protect their property. But simple folk want someone to tend their souls.
Of course. But it was the Skalitz parish priest who ministered here, wasn't it?
He did. But there's been no sign of him since the attack. Or at least he's definitely not in Rattay among the refugees.
That's true enough. I didn't see him there.
But if you're interested, young fella, maybe you could help us find the priest we need here.
I can always ask. But I've heard where the Skalitz priest went.
That's great news. Although I had my eye on another priest.
You might as well tell me who he is. What I heard about the Skalitz priest might just be rumors.
True. Well then, a few years ago there used to be another priest in Skalitz. Simon, I think his name was.
Simon? Father Simon, I remember him. That's the one who went missing, right?
Aye. I don't want to spread rumours, but they say he was in love with his housekeeper. And then she died somehow, poor thing.
That's not a story I've come across.
It only reaches folk who care for such tales. Well, to finish the story, Simon left the parish and ran away. You know that already. There was neither sight nor sound of him for a long time. Until this spring, he showed up here.
And what's he doing here?
That's just it. People say he's become a hermit.
All right. And where can I find him?
I couldn't tell you exactly, but you could start by talking to that girl's parents. Well, they live on a farm nearby, and it's likely they know more. They may even have had words with him.
I'll go and see what they have to say for themselves.
God go with you, lad, and I pray you find him. If some heathen stabs me in my sleep, I'd rather have a decent burial.
Don't worry. I'll bring someone. I found you a priest.
Really? That's wonderful news. Who is it?
I tracked down the Skalitz priest. At the time of the attack, he was taking confession in Sasau, so there he stayed.
Ah, well, the main thing is he's been found. You'll see. Once there's a priest, people will soon be back.
I hope so.
I've put together a small sum for a new piece. So I thought a portion should definitely go to you, as a reward.
I couldn't possibly take it. You'll need the money to rebuild the village.
As you wish, then. I shan't weigh you down with it.
So, farewell to you. And I hope he gets here soon. Just don't you let him run off again.
I'll keep an eye on him myself. Godspeed to you, Henry. And thank you for your help. God be with you.
God save you, Henry.
You That's gonna cost you your life. I'll slaughter you. Bring it on.
Good day to you.
I need help with treatment.
And what's wrong with you?
Oh, nothing. But Philip from Skalitz is dying. He's lying in Sasau and won't last long.
Slowly now. What happened to him?
Nobody knows much. He's not wounded, but I heard he was hiding from the Cumans for days in a pile of carcasses.
The Lord have mercy. The living should never lie with the dead. His intestines must be purged, but even then he's in God's hands.
How do I clean his intestines?
It might surprise you, but you'll have to give him alcoholic spirits. The purest you can get your hands on. The best is distilled from Artemisia. It'll make him a bit delirious, but it'll help. I'll show you how to prepare it.
May the Lord watch over you.
heavens, lad. You're looking bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Last time I saw you, I thought you were ready for the priest.
I'm feeling as good as new.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. My respects to you.
About that debt. Here you are.
Thank you. I'm glad to see you're a man of honour. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Good luck, then.
Garlic soup for the winter, onion soup for the spring. Asparagus for taste and fruit.
Thank you, Hal. Thank you.
Think nothing of it. The main thing is everything worked out well.
It did. It did. Thank you. And I want you to have this. God Almighty, I've got Alishka. After all these years, me, the executioner, has the woman he loves.
What's going on? The folk in town are talking about you.
They shat on me. That's what.
What? Who did?
All of them.
Wait. Tell me again from the start.
All right, if you want. They caught Peter of Dauba, George Weiss, and a fellow named Harold that everyone calls Frost. They're scum who've been hunted for months. Now they've finally been caught, there's a big execution being prepared. Folk will come from miles around to watch.
Well, that's a good thing for you, isn't it?
It would be, if I was fucking doing it.
Isn't it the custom for you to do all the executions in Ratai?
It is. Not just the custom, but by bloody right. You're not being replaced, they said. This is just a loan of Gallows Hill.
They really did fuck you over.
My words exactly.
So who's doing the job?
They invited Executioner Heinz all the way from Kuttenberg. They say it's going to be a big show. Have I ever fucked up an execution? I always behead them in one blow. And when his lordship wants to drag out a hanging, I leave them kicking for minutes. If he wants it quick, they're stiff as soon as I drop them. And they push me aside like that, after all these years of service.
What can we do about it?
Nothing. His lordship's decided, and that's that.
Nothing? You think they should be allowed to get away with this?
Well, no, but...
You have the right to executions in Ratai, don't you?
I most certainly do.
Then you're in the right. Don't tell me you can't think what to do about it.
The trouble is, they already paid the executioner and he's come here along with his assistants.
We can't stop the executions, unless Heinz drops dead on the spot.
Which we don't want.
Indeed not. The best thing would be if he fucked up the executions. The famous Kuttenberg executioner can't handle the job. The mob would laugh him out of town and beg me to take over. They'd never invite him here again.
Great, so how do we go about it?
The problem is, I don't know what the sentences will be. They'll only announce them just before the executions, and then it'll be too late to do anything.
Can't we just get him blind drunk?
That wouldn't work. He's no beginner. And even if we did get him drunk, they'd just postpone the executions till he's sobered up.
Suppose I liberate the convicts.
Why the hell would you do that?
Well, it would be an embarrassment, and then...
Only for Ratai, you dolt. Not for the executioner.
Would the bailiff know more?
Maybe. But most likely only Heinz will know the sentence. I've got an idea, though. Will you help me?
Of course.
Great. Thank you, Henry.
So where should I start?
Find out from the bailiff what their crimes are, and then have a look in the Black Chronicle at the Rathaus.
It goes back before my time. You're bound to find records of some similar offenders in it. You need to find people who committed the same crimes and came from the same sort of background, noble or lowborn. That way you can find out what the appropriate punishments are.
Then come back to me, and we'll work out what to do.
I'll get moving.
And Henry?
Hmm?
They want to do the executions on my gibbet at Gallows Hill. I can hold them up for a while, but probably no more than a week.
I'll bear that in mind.
I need help with a wounded man from Sasau.
Oh? Aye. What's his problem, then?
Do you know anything about broken bones?
No, Henry. If you want to rough someone up, then you can go elsewhere. I'm an executioner, not a thug.
No, it's not that. The exact opposite, actually. There's a man in Sasau with a badly broken leg. They tried to straighten it, but now he's unconscious, and he just keeps getting weaker.
And the monks won't touch him?
Yeah, that's right. They say it's in God's hands.
True enough. But it doesn't mean we can't help him, too. Where's the leg broken?
Above the ankle.
All right, listen. They won't let me in to see him, but it's not all that hard to deal with. There are 2 bones there, most likely both broken. One of them probably didn't set, or it set badly. You can find both of them by feeling for them. If he's lost weight, it'll be all the easier. You have to find the place where the break is and get the 2 parts together. But the pain will be agonizing. He'll scream like a wounded beast and flail around all over the place. You'll have to get some strong fellows to hold him down so he doesn't do himself a worse injury. Don't be afraid to dig your fingers right into the flesh. And don't let the screaming put you off.
All right. Hopefully I'll be able to do it.
You will. Good luck, Hal.
I te escucho.
Yeah.
Come here, lily liver.
Over here.
Boy, you! Curse it!
Yeah.
Henry!
I brought some meat.
Thank you, Henry. Rich food will definitely help. God be with you.
I won't get in. I just want...
Dear Mistress Johanka, I come again in admiration of your selfless dedication. I would like to invite you to a fine banquet at my palace. You certainly have earned What business have you here, fellow? Who let you in?
I'm taking care of the wounded, as I'm sure you're aware.
Ah. Well then, run along and take care of them, and let me talk to Johanka. You're not needed here.
Wouldn't it be better to have the banquet here, custodian?
What?
I won't get any sleep.
If you won't give the sick anything else, can you at least hold the banquet here?
Nobody's going to talk to me that way. Lock him up for the night and let him learn some manners.
Thank your guardian angel I didn't have time to teach you some manners. Next time you won't be so lucky.
Who's there? Answer.
I have to eat something. My insides are shriveled up with the hunger.
What happened?
We brought you back to the land of the living.
How? How long have I been unconscious?
For a long time. Your friends have left.
I have to find them.
Rest now. You're going to be very weary for the next week or two. You'll find your friends. They probably ended up in Ratai like most of our folk.
Well, all right. And Henry? Thank you.
Are you holding him firmly?
Aye.
Done.
For the love of God! What have you been doing?
That custodian Sebastian is really obnoxious.
He can be unpleasant, but in his own way. I don't know.
You can't be serious.
What's that supposed to mean? At least he was here, unlike you, the whole time. And anyway, mind your own business. God be with you. Henry, how are you?
How are the sick and wounded faring? I don't think there's anything more I can do for them.
You did what you could. Truly, I don't know what I would have done without you. You saved a lot of lives. God be with you.
I'd like to learn something from you.
And what can you do?
A bit of everything.
Can you now?
Henry,
But to be
I'm
more
glad you
precise,
stopped by.
do you understand herbs and medicinal plants?
Of course, like the back of my hand.
You don't look the part, but if you say so. Go to the herb garden, take a good look at what's growing there, and then pull up the weeds in the herbaceous beds. Is that clear?
Clear. I can get cracking.
Not so fast. Have I even told you what I consider a weed? It's dandelions, stinging nettles, and thistles. Those plants have their use, but they've no business growing among the euphrasia and the mentha, or anywhere else in that garden for that matter.
I see.
I can't sleep.
Once you've cleared the garden of weeds, come back. And woe betide you if you pull up anything but weeds.
Don't worry, you've never had as good a gardener. How do I know which are the weeds?
You see, this is the part where you learn something. Look in the herbarium to find out what a dandelion, stinging nettle, and thistle look like.
Where is it they're not supposed to grow?
Between the mint and the eyebrights.
Good luck to you.